The most challenging and confusing part when it comes to spelling or pronouncing the word is when it has to do with same vowel. That is when two vowel sounds are actually paired. On today's video, we're going to be discussing the letter A, like how should you know when should it sound the long A and when it should sound the short A. Today, basically, we are focusing on the letter A, the long form of the vowel letter A. Okay, so I have some list of rules that actually tells you, is it supposed to go with the long form of the vowel letter A or should it go with the short vowel letter A? We're actually going to be discussing some rules that will tell you, that will help you, that will guide you. I have rule 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so let's start with the first rule. The first rule says that A can be A or A depending on the position. Okay, letter A can sound in its long vowel form, letter A, or its short vowel form, letter A. In a previous video, we discussed how A can actually sound in 9 different ways. So if you're just joining me, make sure to check out that video. You're going to gain 1 or 2 from there. Now, I have the first one. It says, for you to actually know if a letter should sound the long form, that is, if letter A should sound in its long form or if it is the short form, you should focus on the position of the letter. Where is the letter appearing? Is it at the beginning, at the middle, at the end? This helps you to determine if it should be pronounced as A or if it sounds Ah. Now, before I go further, I always make mention of the fact, I always make it clear that English has exception. Whatsoever we do in English language, we do have exception. But one thing you should know, one thing you should have at the back of your mind is that the authenticity is more than the exception. The very first one is when A begins a word, in most cases, they always go with the short form of the sound, the short form of the vowel sound. When A begins a word, they most of the time go with the short form of the vowel sound letter A. This doesn't mean that there are no words beginning with letter A that actually carries the long vowel sound. But what I am trying to say here, that most of the word that actually begins with letter A goes with the short form of the sound, the short form of the vowel letter A, the A. Okay, let's see some of the list of words we have here. We have approve, approve. It is and not A, approve. We have amendment, amendment, not amendment. Amendment. We still have agree, agree, agree. We have advice, advice, advice. We have address, address, address. We still have avoid, avoid, avoid. Now we have agent, agent, agent. Now it is sounding A here. I put this here so that you can understand it clearly. So this is sounding A and not agent. We still have age, age. It is still sounding A. Okay. Now we have adamant, adamant. And as well we have aggressive, aggressive, aggressive. Right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8 out of the 10 actually begins with A and sounding in the short form of the letter A, whereas just 2 happens to sound A out of 10. That is what I'm trying to say. We have exception, but the ones that actually aligns with the law are usually more than the exception. Just few exceptions and larger aligning words. I don't know if you understand that clearly. Okay, so the very first one we are discussing today is the position of the letter determines how that letter will go. That is how A will be pronounced. Is it A or A? Now, I have talked about it when it begins a word, as well as when it happens to be in the middle of a word, except with magic E. When A appears at the middle of a word, that is not beginning the word, is in the middle, as well, it carries the short A sound. Okay, you can see that from the word adamant, a, da, is still a. We have ma, mant. We have adamant. It is sounding a from the beginning till this point. It is all a, okay? So if a should begin a word, it sounds a most of the time. In the middle of a word as well, it sounds a as well, okay? That's the very first one in terms of positioning. The position of the letter is actually a determinant of how should it be pronounced, okay? Now the second rule is the magic E rule. The magic E rule. Now, I don't know if we are actually cleared about this magic E. We have discussed it on one of our videos today. I'm still going to throw light on it. Let's explain it pertaining to it. Now, when we talk about silent E or magic E in English language, we're talking about that particular E that you can actually see at the end part of a word. Then you will have a verb dividing it with another vowel. That is, for instance, when you have E, V, E, in between the both E's, we have V dividing it. V is actually a consonant. So you will have a consonant dividing two vowel sound. That is what I call the magic E. One of the E, that is the E at the ending part, that is the E that actually ends the word, is the one that actually goes silent, is the one we call the magic E. Every other vowel that is being separated with the consonant, yes, is going to be pronounced and the E is going to go silent, okay? Now, magic E is another determinant of how A should sound. Should it sound A? Should it sound A? Now, look at the following words, okay? This is magic E all in play here. They all have magic E. One thing magic E does to this vowel, this is actually a consonant. This consonant actually divided this and this. These both are vowels. This is a consonant. So this is what we talk when we talk about magic E. This very kind of placement or division, it is divided with letter K, a consonant. That is, when a consonant comes in between E and every other vowel. Okay, it could be A, it could be E, it could be I, it could be O, it could be U. It has to be a vowel before this law will apply. What it does is that this E will definitely change what is here. Yeah, if this was to be a short sound, that is short A, once you have silent E here, this automatically goes with the long form of the pronunciation, letter A. That is why you will see so many words bearing or coming in this format. They will always go with a long letter A. When you see so many words that actually ends with E, they tend to be a kind of pronounced, that is, they sound more louder in terms of the first vowel that is coming out. You notice that they actually pronounce longer, they sound louder. I don't know if you understand me. Now, this is what I'm trying to say for A. This is pronounced as cake. K, K, K. Remember, we talked about the rule of soft C and hard C. This is C and A carrying the hard C and not the soft C. And this is supposed to be A, assuming we are focusing on the normal way of pronouncing word. That is the way we recited our two-letter combination, the diagraph. This is supposed to be pronounced as ka, 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 ka. If I decide to take away the K and the E, the silent E and the K, maybe you replace it with R and D. I'm just going to have card, carrying the k sound, the R sound, okay? But because of this E here and this consonant in between, separating this and this carries the long sound of the vowel for every vowel sound. Assuming I have E here and E here, this one, the one here, that is the vowel here, will carry the long sound. If it is E, it's going to be pronounced as E and not E. If it is U, it will still go with U and not O. If it is O, it will go with O and not O. I don't know if you get it now. So the magic E always change the vowel at this place, and himself, that is the magic E, will go silent. Okay, so let's see the list of words. We have cake, take, cage, cage. We have face, fake. It is fe, ke, te, ke. Okay, they are all sounding a. We have face, face. Okay, we have fake. It doesn't matter what is here, provided it's a consonant sound, and e here. Whatsoever that appears here that happens to be a vowel sound, we definitely call it the long sound of the vowel. Okay, so we have face, we have fake, we have date, we have mate, page, pay and not pa, page. We have bake, bake and not back, bake. Okay, we still have pave, pave and not pav. Okay, it is pave. Now, in all that I have pronounced here, did you in any way notice or hear the E sound being pronounced? But looking at this, they all have the letter E, all right? So that's what magic E does. So magic E as well determines how letter A will sound. Let's say the third one. The third one has to do with team vowel. Yeah, I don't know if we have discussed this. I don't think so, but let me throw light on it anyway. We have what we call team vowel. That is when two vowel sounds are put together to make a particular sound. We call them team vowel. The word team means pairing, that is pairing of two more than one. So for team vowel, whenever you hear team vowel, we're talking about two vowels that are being paired, that are being put together. For instance, I have A and E being put together and they actually make a sound and not A-E. No, it is paired and it is pronounced one. Okay, I don't know if you understand this. When we have two vowels being paired, they always give a particular one sound. But sometimes as well, two paired vowels can actually give us a different sound. Okay, so on today's one, still on A, when A and E is being paired, where they happen to be a team vowel in a word, they usually go with the sound okay, it is okay. Now we have this list of words here. Enigmatai, enigmatai, enigmatai. This is pronounced as enigmatai, enigmatai. It is not enigmatai. No, it is enigmatai. I now carries the long vowel sound I, not E. Okay, so you can see that in this word, what I explained here. Okay, now we have loopline, enigmatai, loopline, eros, tele. We still have gion, okay, as well as ega. We still have egglobes, egophony, electropic, as well as nears. Now this is near, nears. We equally have a team vowel here, the E and the A, here. It is gear and near, that is how it sounds. We have a nears, we have a geon. Okay, so the third rule here we are discussing is on the team vowel, and this happens when A comes first. Remember, I said that when vowels are being paired, that is when we have a team vowel, the first letter is the sound that you will hear more. Okay, the second sound may not be pronounced, but the first one will sound louder. Okay, so that is what we have here. So when you have a team vowel that A comes first, just know that it's going to carry the A sound. Now, the last on the list, which is the number 4, is the rule of the suffix. Okay, when A is close to a suffix, it tends to sound A and not A. Okay, now we have some list of words here. When we talk about suffix, we talk about ending part of a word, either a added one or just the sound that is being produced. We have the shun, we have the thief, we have the H, and we have this list of words. Let's see if we are making sense. We have package, package, package. Right here, the silent E is playing though, and it gave this the sound it is carrying, the A, but this was sounding A. It is package, cage, cage. Did you notice the changes? It is pa here, A here, but A here, cage. Okay, we have presentation, presente, and not tation. Okay, we have educative, educative, not educative. Okay, we still have information, information, not information. It is information. It is sounding A and not A. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is when someone sometimes pronounces a word and you want to write it down, if you are not familiar with the A and the A, once it is not sounding the A that you know that you recited from the Babe Bibobu diagram, you can find yourself, or you may find yourself, being confused. Okay, so pay attention. Note that A can sound A. I have a video where I showed you, or I explained that A can actually sound 9 different ways, that the 9 different ways that A actually sounds, the 9 different letters that you will see in English language, and they are sounding A, including the team vowel. Okay, so today we still have one team vowel here. There are other ones though, but for today's tutorial, because we want to focus on what will be clear enough, we are focusing on just this team vowel here. All right, okay, now let's move on. We have orphanage, see here it is sounding orpha, but once it goes to this point, we have nage, and we still have the rule of the silent E here affecting this as well. Okay, so it is orphanage. Okay, we still have the next word, interrogative, interrogative. Now it wasn't ga, it is ge, a. Okay, interrogative. Okay, now we have representative, representative. It is not sounding A, it is sounding A. Representative, representative, it is sounding A and not A. So the fourth rule we are talking about here is when A is the closest letter to an ending part of a word. And that is it for today's lesson. I believe you are now cleared. When should you use the letter A? When should this sound A? When should this sound A? See you soon and bye for now.